always you were getting a share of the revenue that Lagos State was generating.
Hey, excuse me, share what? Have they proven it? The World Bank has, IMF has investigated the record in Lagos. What's wrong with them?
And I want to move away from that.
It's envy.
I think you've kind of explained that.
All right, all right. In this exclusive interview of Tinubu, I'm going to be doing the short analysis of what transpired in the interview on BBC. He was with the BBC in the interview, and he was talking about some of his reasons for joining the presidential race. And I'm going to show you the whole video right now, and then after the video, I'm going to make some analysis of the video and some of the talks he did. Do enjoy the video. Thank you.
Your Excellency, thank you very much for talking to the BBC. First of all, how are things going with you with the campaigning?
Things are going very well. I'm very, very confident and that this election, free and fair, I'm the front runner. And that is why I'm getting many arrows.
We'll talk about one or two of the arrows in a bit. Let's talk about your priorities. If you do win the elections in February and you're sworn into office come May 29th, what are your priorities?
Security and economic recovery to accelerated development to get Nigeria employed and get inflation down. Monetary policy needs to be changed. Subsidy need to be decided upon and removed.
Security is a big problem for many Nigerians. And I remember in this very room in 2015, I asked President Muhammadu Buhari when he was campaigning about that issue. And he said, well, we know what we're going to do. We know what we're going to do. The problem still persists. What are you going to do specifically?
It actually reduced. I would defend him for that. Then 17 local governments and about 4 states where we have flags of foreign jihadists in Nigeria. That is no more. That is long gone. To start a chaos is easy. To bring normalcy and redecorate is more difficult. Here we are, Buhari has degraded, but not completely eliminated Iceworth. Then we talk briefly of lethal weapons and ammunition and technology equipment that could help accelerate the cleanup of those. The West is yet to feel comfortable enough with the Buhari administration to sell us the arms.
Do you think that will change? That might change with you, or will that change with you?
It could change. It might not change, but we have to look at alternatives, and those are the mass recruitment of individuals in a volunteer army to really clean up.
So more people in your military forces, security forces, so to speak, as you said during your speech downstairs. Now, I just want to move away from that because I realize we don't have much time. There's also the issue of, Nigerians have lived under this Buhari administration for 8 years now, almost 8 years. Some would say this 8 years has come with a lot of pain and a lot of suffering. You are coming from the same perspective as President Muhammadu Buhari, and you're members of the same political party. You helped bring him in to office nearly 8 years ago. What are you going to do different? Why should Nigerians be voting for you?
Because I'm different. I am Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I have governed Lagos. I've built a model state that could be a country on its own. I've led an administration that is so prudent. From 600 million internally generated revenue to 5 billion a month. That's a record. Nobody else can brag about that. I've treated and tamed the Atlantic Ocean surge in Nigeria that will have perished many people in Lagos. The infrastructural renewal of Lagos is excellent. I've continuity in Lagos. Buhari has done his best. I can't run away from him being my friend, my leader in the party. I will not.
Okay, sir. I mean, when you talk about money generated in Lagos, and I want to come to your own personal self. When you talk about, you're a very wealthy man.
How do you know?
Well, you know, I mean,
You are not my accountant.
I'm not in your account, but this is speculation, and it's fine. You can actually rebut it or not. When I look at some publications and they say they're worth 4 billion, some is even more than that, but you refuse to explain where your wealth comes from. I know where you live in Lagos. It's a massive, sprawling mansion that takes up nearly a quarter of a street in a very expensive suburb. Why do you refuse? I mean, don't Nigerians have the right to know where the wealth of their next leader comes from?
Because they got to know how to analyze and how to ask questions, not in the accusatory format. Are they enemy of wealth? If they are not enemy of wealth, investment do yield. I have an example of a Warren Buffett, one of the richest men in the country, in America and in the world. He started from stock buying and brokerages. I inherited great real estate. I turned the values around. I'm not denying my wealth. I've not been, I was the most investigated, the most accused governor in the opposition up to, from for 8 years and up to 2007. And since I left the office, I'm still there. I've not taken any government appointment, no government contract.
Yes, but some say the legacy you left in Lagos State was that, you were getting a share of the revenue that Lagos State was generating.
Hey, excuse me, share what? Have they proven it? The World Bank has, IMF has investigated the record in Lagos. What's wrong with them?
And I want to move away from that.
It's envy.
I think you've kind of explained that, and we don't have much time. If you were not running for president, sir, you have two main opposition candidates, Abubakar Atiku and Peter Obi, who people are saying, he's the young upstart, and I mean that in a very positive way.
Young where?
Young upstart.
Have they been governor of Anambra 8 years?
Anyway, Your Excellency, if you weren't running for president, which of your two major opponents would you be voting for?
None.
Why not?
Because they are not as competent as any other person out there. They have no track record. None of them is qualified except me.
I know you just watched the interview with Tinubu, and right now, well, to the best of my knowledge, so far so good. This is like the best talk that Tinubu has made so far, and there are speculations everywhere that this is an edited interview, like it was recorded and massively edited. Many people are talking about that in the social media atmosphere right now, and it's actually something that all of us should be concerned about, because this is someone who is vying for the position of the #1 person in the country, the #1 citizen of the country. And before we choose a leader, we should actually make a lot of study. We should make a lot of assessment of his character, of his antecedents, of the things he is promising to do. So far so good in this interview. For me, I have not seen Tinubu justified why he wants to be president enough. That's for me, that's my personal opinion, because of all the questions he was asked. At least he was asked 4 to 5 questions, and he was able to talk about security and his plans for the security, but it was not in final details. And he has been avoiding a lot of interviews. He has not really come out to tell us many of his plans. So it's something we should all be asking a lot of questions about. So I don't know, what do you think about this interview, as Tinubu actually nailed it in this interview? One other aspect that Tinubu actually talked about is his wealth, how he gained how he made his wealth. So far for me, he was not able to make a very, very, very direct analysis of how he made his money. It was just like he made judicious use of his investment, and he didn't even mention who left the inheritance or whatever investment he was talking about for him. So I don't understand, like. So what do you think about the whole interview? For me, one of the other things I also noticed in the interview is that the camera angles were so narrow. Yes, there was no point where the interviewer and the interviewee was captured together directly. There was no point in time. Both of their faces were not captured together, and that has been one of the reasons people said that the interview was doctored, that the video was doctored and edited. So, like, how do you do an interview and then there is no part where both faces of the people speaking in the video are being shown? That shows that there's a lot that is being hidden behind the scene. So I'd like to know your opinion in the comment section. What do you think about this interview? Is it really doctored? Is it really massively edited, as many people are saying online? And what is the impact of this interview on the Tinubu's journey to presidency? I'd like to hear your opinions in the comment section. My name is Salman Filia, and I'm the Chief Editor of Right Focus Foundations Africa. Don't forget to like this video and hit the subscribe button for more. See you in my next video. Bye bye.